Hello everybody out there in internet world. Kern Murphy here from Custom Audio Mutation. Wanted to do a fun little playthrough on a Hot Rod DeVille 212 Resurrection. This amp came in a few weeks ago and then had some channel switching problems. The PCB was hacked beyond belief, so I got the channel switching working and then the amp itself just blew up. So client brought it back and we decided to do a fun little conversion from Mr. Luigi at Retro Custom Amplification. He makes PC boards that go into these very cheaply built Fender Deville amplifiers, and you can turn them into very cool Dumble-esque type amps. So I'm going to play for a minute. Switching options, so you've got clean and a distortion channel. You also have a preamp boost, and then there is another function that I opted to leave on the amplifier, not on a foot switch, because you can only do 2, not 3, and I think it's the mid boost, which bypasses the EQ, the tone stack, and gives you a boost, which is actually a drive type distortion boost, so you can take your distortion channel out of the gate. Very impressive. Again, where I got the PC board from was Retro Custom Amplification. If you Google them, the board is really affordable and it's incredibly well built. I'm going to show you that in a minute. I'm going to power the amp down. So the cool thing about this whole conversion process is the fact that you can take one of these much maligned by amplifier technicians, Fender Hot Rod DeVille, Hot Rod Deluxe, blah, 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 and convert it into something really bitchin'. The form factor for everything is pretty much universal. I didn't have to do any serious metal work to the chassis itself, except for the switches. I had to open those up from square to a slight 1/4 inch, and it took like, with the drill and the bit, went right through and it came out great. So, total cost of the conversion will vary depending on the quality of components you choose, but again, over at Retro Custom Amplification, he's got a thorough bill of materials that takes you straight to Mauser. So you only have to buy all the parts at one location for all you novice guys out there. I mean, I'm not, a super experienced guy. I have my experience, but I remember when I was first starting out and going to Mauser, going to DigiKey, and going to all these different websites just to try to find, one part. And they have really made it nice and simple, a very simple process to get this started. So if you look here, is the PC board, and it fits the entire length of the chassis. So you pull everything out. You do need to put in new sockets, which I chose to do with nice belt-ins, and you do have to wind your own heaters, which you do properly. It's all good. I still got this is the center tap off the bias, which I still have to shrink wrap off. But the PC board itself is a double-sided, through-plated PC board, super thick, phenomenal construction. It's not a cheap, shitty board. Couple of notes that I will say: I build amplifiers, and I have a bunch of, quote-unquote compatible parts. But I made the mistake with the relays of using my own 12-volt relays, which have a heavier milliamp draw, which caused me a couple days confusion. And here's the great part about this. The outcome of this is the amplifier is working because I ordered the correct parts from Mouser again, and they're listed on the BOM from Retro Custom. And the minute I did that, everything fell into place. I would recommend purchasing sockets for your relays and for this little IC here, just in case you have to do any voltage testing. I would also recommend that with the bigger power resistors that you keep them lifted off the board so that they have air moving around them. And beyond that, the construction, the layout, the information on his website is very solid. And here's the other great thing. Because I had put in the incorrect relays, I had to reach out to Lou, and I have about 57 emails back and forth with him. He never once lost patience. He was completely helpful and friendly, gave me all kinds of great troubleshooting instructions for the issues I was having in the relay switching section because of the incorrect part that I had installed across all 3 relays. So through my user error, I was getting an issue in the power section for the switching relays, and it was nothing to do with the board or the part selection or anything from Retro Custom Amplification. Everything is 100% correct with this board. It's wonderful. It's a simple job when you go in and do this, and it's affordable, and it sounds wonderful. So anyway, there are a couple other tweaks that I'm going to do. There's you've got your preamp boost level here for how much gain you want that to have. You got a blend control right here for the clean and overdrive blend. You've got an overdrive trim control, and you've got an overdrive tone stack that's internal. So you do have to set that, and the 2 channels are blended. And then there's a phase inverter balance pot, which I guess is a Dumble trick, and whatever. But other than that, this thing came out great, and I cannot complain. It's got 2 different sets of bright capacitors in the front end, and in the middle is everything bypassed. There's the switchable preamp boost. You've got a 3-way switch here for like rock, jazz, and blues voicing, so warm, crunchy rock, and then smoother and darker. Let's see here, and then your channel select. You've got a drive control for gain, drive volume, a master volume that the clean and the drive go into, tone stack for the clean, push-pull right here. This is that mid boost, which bypasses the clean tone stack and gives you a nice big boost. The loop is just a passive loop, so you might experience some issue with some pedals and whatnot if you don't feed enough signal into it, and then correct the send on the input on the pedal. You could run into some just basic issues because it is a passive loop, and I know that the design here, he had to keep it in the form factor. If you've only got 3 12AX7s, you've only got so much current you can pull from the transformer. There are some limitations with what this amp is, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not getting free anything or any of that. I'm just really happy and really impressed with this product, with this PC board. I think it is a great project, and I can't gush enough. And it went really well. So anyway, pretty darn painless.